In the early 1600s, an Englishman named William Adams arrived in Japan and became the first Western samurai, serving under the powerful Tokugawa shogunate. His extraordinary life inspired the character John Blackthorne in James Clavell's Shogun, but the real Adams story is just as fascinating. From humble beginnings in England to becoming an indispensable advisor to Japan's rulers, William Adams' journey is a remarkable tale of survival, adaptation, and historical influence. William Adams was born in 1564 in the small town of Gillingham, Kent, England. Raised in a modest family, Adams lost his father at the age of 12 and was apprenticed to shipbuilding under shipyard owner Nicholas Diggins. It was here that Adams developed a deep understanding of navigation, ship construction, and the burgeoning art of maritime trade. By the late 1500s, England was in the midst of an age of exploration, and Adams, like many ambitious young men of the era, sought fortune and adventure on the high seas. After completing his apprenticeship, Adams worked as a shipwright and navigator for several prominent English merchants. His expertise caught the attention of various trading companies, and he soon found himself involved in voyages that would take him to far-flung corners of the world. In 1598, Adams embarked on a historic journey as part of a Dutch expedition organized by the Company of Far Lands. The fleet of 5 ships set sail with the ambitious goal of reaching the Pacific and establishing trade routes with Asia. Adams served as the chief navigator aboard the De Liefde, a heavily armed merchant vessel. Their route took them south, past the coast of Africa and around the treacherous Cape Horn. The expedition, however, faced immense challenges, including storms, disease, and the hostility of foreign powers. By the time the ships reached the Pacific, only the De Liefde remained, with a drastically reduced and weakened crew. Navigating the dangerous waters of the Pacific Ocean was grueling, but Adams and the surviving crew finally made landfall in Japan in 1600, marooned and desperate for aid. This marked the beginning of Adams' new life in a country that was as alien to him as he was to them. When the De Liefde arrived off the coast of Kyushu, the crew was in dire straits. They were brought ashore and interrogated by local samurai, and the ship was seized by the local daimyo. At that time, Japan was embroiled in a period of internal conflict, and its leaders were wary of foreign influences, particularly the growing presence of Portuguese traders and Jesuit missionaries. The ship's crew was imprisoned when Portuguese Jesuit interpreters told local leaders that they were pirates. Adams was brought before Tokugawa Ieyasu, the powerful warlord who would soon unify Japan under his rule. Adams' knowledge of navigation, shipbuilding, and the world beyond Japan intrigued Ieyasu, who sought to use Adams' expertise to further his own political and military ambitions. Adams' services was utilized by the Tokugawa forces in the use of cannons at the Battle of Sekigahara. Their victory established Ieyasu as the new shogun. Adams' proficiency in shipbuilding and navigation offered Ieyasu access to European technologies that could help Japan improve its naval capabilities and extend its trade reach. He helped the design and construction of Western-style ships. In fact, he oversaw the construction of Japan's first European-style vessel, which greatly impressed Ieyasu and cemented Adams' position as a trusted advisor. The great lord bestowed upon him 2 swords, making Adams the first and only non-Japanese samurai in history. Adams was granted the title Miura Anjin, Pilot of Miura, and given a fief in the Miura Peninsula, along with an estate and hundreds of serfs. This unique status gave Adams a place within the samurai class, though he remained an outsider in many ways. Over the years, Adams not only played a pivotal role in Japan's internal affairs, but also acted as an intermediary between Japan and foreign powers. His knowledge of European languages and cultures allowed him to serve as an interpreter and diplomat, particularly in negotiations between Japan and Dutch and English traders, His diplomatic work focused on limiting the influence of the Portuguese and the papal Jesuits in Japan because they were a threat to Ieyasu's efforts to consolidate power. Adams, an English Protestant, helped facilitate Japan's eventual shift towards favoring Dutch and English traders who were able to separate issues of trade and religion. In addition, Adams was sent on diplomatic missions to negotiate trade deals with New Spain, modern-day Mexico, on behalf of the Tokugawa shogunate. Though these efforts were not always successful, Adams' role in shaping Japan's foreign relations during this period was significant. In 1614, although originally Adams was barred from leaving Japan, Ieyasu changed his mind and permitted him to return to England. However, he already developed personal ties that made it difficult for him to abandon his new life and family. After the death of Tokugawa Ieyasu in 1616, Adams continued to serve under Ieyasu's son, Tokugawa Hidetada. However, his influence waned slightly under the new shogun, who was less interested in foreign diplomacy and naval matters than his father had been. Adams' health began to decline, and he spent his final years managing his estate and continuing his role as an advisor. Despite the changes in leadership, Adams remained a respected figure within the shogunate until his death in 1620. He was buried in Hirado, Japan, where his grave can still be visited today. In addition to his historical contributions, Adams' life has been immortalized in literature and popular culture. James Clavell's novel Shogun introduced Adams' story to a global audience, albeit with fictional embellishments. The novel's adaptation into a successful TV miniseries further cemented Adams' place in the popular imagination. If you happen to like this presentation, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't, what the heck, just like it anyways. Thanks for watching.